Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me? Sound check. All right. Sounds clear. Okay. All right. So what we're going to go through tonight is it's it's pretty simple once you understand it, and then once you truly understand it, it changes the game. So um. Well, thank you all for coming tonight. First of all, this is going to be a private group. Nobody else is going to have access to this. So it's about 12 of us, and that's good. I like it like that. Smaller the better. It says sharing on Facebook, but it's only sharing on private, like private video, so I can record it, but it's not public. Now let me pop the screen on. What's up, Thomas? What's up, Nikki? What's up, Frank? What's up, Carlos? Everybody. All right, let's get this going here. Before we get going into that, does anybody not understand the five-finger strategy? Not familiar with it? Because it's important that you understand that. It's okay for you to be like, not really, not 100%, sort of. I mean, there's 12 of us, so we could be interactive. I don't want to go over anybody's head. Does everybody understand the five-finger strategy? Can you guys hear me? Okay, so we all basically understand the five-finger strategy. Never heard of it, but I am probably more green. Never heard of it, but I am probably more green. Green? What do you mean? Um. Okay, so the never heard of it, but I am probably more green. All right. So anyway, I think you were like kidding around, but so yeah, we get it that it's 90 cents to $12 is the stocks we're looking for, up 15% or more pre-market, and the float is between. Well, we're looking for the float to be below 40 million, and less than 20 million is preferred. High volume, if we can get volume, 1/10 the float. That would be preferred, and we would like to see it up on news or earnings. No. Okay. So then we also have the kicker. So that's anything that makes it stand out, like a technical formation. It's about to break the 52-week high, pivot points. Number 4, you said you don't understand. That's just volume, but you'll understand that more as we go on. So I would say most important thing, honestly, for a new trader to have is a scanner. Once you got your platform and once you got your whatever you call it, your broker, you need a scanner. Now, Thinkorswim has a scanner, and you can use that one, but it's not the best. It doesn't show float. It shows shares if you want it to. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start there, even though this is something that we don't typically use. I don't think you could be a trader without scanners. Not the kind of, period. Even if you're doing points, you still need to be able to know what percentage, what stocks are up in order to trade them. So scanners, absolutely. Well, let me take a step back. The number one scanner. Let me go here real quick. The number one scanner I suggest is Trade Ideas, and here I'll pop that in there. And, that one is not free, but that code gives you 15% off. That, honestly, Trade Ideas is the most important thing for me, and I have to say that because look at what happened today, this morning. Nothing on the watch list took off. Then we went over to the Gap scanner, which is like a midday scanner, and found that MSRB or MCRC, whatever it was. Let's see. Going to add a note here. I can pop that there. Because it's just going to get lost in the shuffle. I don't think I have any volume. This is odd. Okay. Now that you have that scanner, let's go ahead, let's open it up and let's see what it looks like. Okay. That feels better. All right, Trade Ideas. Let's open it up. Comes up like this. It's a beautiful layout. You have multiple settings. I'm not allowed to show any of the artificial intelligence, but I will have you know they do have a program, and you can link the artificial intelligence to your broker, and it will trade for you. As you could see today, Holly Grail was 8-0, so 8 wins, 0 losses for up $2.34 on every 100. Holly 2.0 was up $1.43 on every 100, and Holly Neo was up $1.87 on every 100. And that's a big deal, guys. That's pretty big. Sometimes it's not that good. But so this morning we have the pre-market scanner. So you hit pre-market here. And this is the scanner that we look at. Sometimes I'll send it to you guys in a text. Now, this we've all seen before. I've gone over this with you. So I'm going to, good job, Gus. Yeah, Gus has Trade Ideas. He made some money with Holly today. We made a lot of money with Holly on Friday, who gave a 90% rating on the market going down, and then a 65% rating the next time. But you want to stick with 90% or better Anyway, so here is the pre-market scanner from this morning. Now they also have everything. They have an after-hour scanner, so this is what's basically going on right now, what's popping, moving up, and we're going to get into all this in a second. I'm just trying to show you the different parts. They have a trade the gap. This is the gap scanner we'll usually watch during the day if we don't find anything in the morning or if we want to make another trade after we make our morning trade. And then this is an interesting one. They have the option scanner. And this basically looks for options that are going up, let's say, strong options volume 300%, unusually strong options volume 300%. And let's see. Yeah, and this one's a cool one too. Somebody knows something. These are all good scanners, but the most important one, and forget everything else I just said, is we have the 5-finger strategy. We know what we're looking for. Where is it? Notes. These here. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so boom. Let's go to the scanner. Matter of fact, let's do one of. I would like to keep a note up so we could cross-reference, but we pretty much know it. So let's say we went to the and so this is be the one that we look at, the up scanner, and then we would cross-reference. So let's look at the first one, right? This is from this morning. So it's GLBS. This was a huge gapper this morning. Price, $9.49. That's in line. Oh, you can't see. Sorry. Right here. First one, GLBS, right? The price is $9.49. That's in line with our 90 cents to $12. The gap, it's up 93%. That's well above our 15% limit. The volume obviously is not correct right now because this is throughout the day, but it did had extremely high volume this morning. I would say at least half the float. And then last but not least is the float. And this is only 1.3 million. That's very low. We're allowed to have anything from 40 million or less. So this is one you would say, okay, it matches all my criteria. It's missing everything but one thing. Can anybody call out what the one thing is that we have yet to identify with this? Okay, well, it is the news. So we don't know if there's any news on this stock. We don't know why it's going on. We don't know. We know it's a very low float, which means float is just shares. It's just how many stocks are available to be traded. If you look at a company like, let's say, Apple, right? Look at the float. 4.6 billion shares available to be traded. That's just available for the public. So something like GLBS only has 1.6 million shares to, volume. One person alone could manipulate this stock if they had a couple $1,000,000 in their brokerage account, or even on I don't think you could buy this on margin, but either way, anybody can manipulate the stock. So it's important to see if there's news or earnings or if something's going on or if this is just being manipulated. So one way you could find out if there's news, we already have it here from this morning, is you can go to Benzinga Pro and hit the little, not Benzinga Pro. Well, yeah, you can go to Benzinga Pro as well, but you can go right here to the little news tab on Thinkorswim. And by the way, guys, let me finish and then I'll back up. So we'll look, and we're checking this morning. There's no news. There's no news. It's pause trading, resume trading. NVIDIA to buy this company for such and such. I don't think that that's this company, though. It says NVIDIA to buy Mellanox Technologies for $6.9 billion. I don't think this is Mellanox, so I don't know why that's here. It's just on a list of stocks that are gapping in the morning. Maritime spokesman asked about upside in stock, tells Benzinga, we have no information as to why the spike has taken place. So what does that tell you right away? It's being manipulated. It's junk. Doesn't mean you can't make money off of it, but I don't want to make money off of junk. So we'll consider it. We'll keep an eye on it, but it's not my top pick. So that goes to the side. We already know there's no news on this. Then, before I get to the secret, okay? Before I get to the trick, you guys might be wondering, you know, your brokerage setup, why is it set up the way that it's set up? And maybe yours doesn't look like mine, and maybe you have Thinkorswim. Well, I'm going to send you something right now. If you look here at the top where it says setup in the top right corner, let me fix this screen for you. In the top right corner, it says setup. Now, what you do is you click that, and you can hit open shared workspace, right? This thing will come up, and then you're going to, it doesn't let you paste for some reason. I don't know why. But if you type in this link, which I'm about to give to you, let's see. Yep, that's it. That is my setup. And I can walk you through what all my studies are, my scanner set up. You'll get all that. You're going to get all that sent to you simply by uploading my Flex Grid with the level 2s. You'll get everything. You just have to upload this here. I'll paste it in the box. So yeah, just unfortunately you can't copy and paste. I don't think. At least it doesn't let me do it, but I know you can type it in, and you'll have the same setup as me, which you'll find convenient. I also have a second page on my brokerage for extra stocks, which is, you know, over here. I'll keep it on another monitor or wherever, and so it's a cool setup if you guys want it. And I actually have a video on what everything means in here as well. I have to find it. So that being said, let's go back to charts and the first one we were looking at. All right, it meets all the criteria. It's shooting up. There's no news. The CEO doesn't even know why it's gapping up. He claims, probably him doing it. What's the next step with this one? Do you buy it? Do you sell it? Do you leave it alone? Well, look what it's it's gapping in the aftermarket. So we're going to take a closer look. We're going to take a closer look because you might say this is a great buy. I'm going to buy this in the open. I'm going to buy this at the pre-market. You don't know. You have no idea. All right. So here's a suggestion. Go to stockcharts.com. Okay. I'll start over with you just to, you know, kind of show you. It's so zoomed in. I don't know why. Okay. So you would go to stockcharts.com, right? Now, for some reason, The technology on stockcharts.com is when it comes to what we're looking at, which is pivots, because remember, we trade breakout points, pivots, and pivotal points, which are not, the same technically. Don't think pivotal and pivot points are the same. Pivots can actually be a drop and you buy on a pivot, but pivotal points, breakouts, and pivot points. So now you're at stockcharts.com. All right, and we want to know more about this stock. It's 8 o'clock. It's very early in the morning. Let's pretend it's this time, and we want to know if we should buy this or not. Is it going to go above 1060? Everything falls within range. We're going to go back to stockcharts.com and put in the ticker, which is GLBS. And again, as I was saying, for some reason, this like stockcharts.com has its pivot points are like on point with some brokerages that cost like brokerage platforms that are thousands of dollars a month. For some reason, this is like the closest one to it. You could put in pivot points on Thinkorswim, but they're wrong. They're dead wrong. For some reason, the pivot points on this are the most accurate, and you will see that tonight. So once you get this, you'll get your chart. What I like to do, it really doesn't matter, but okay, it does matter. First thing you do is you go change your range to predefined range. You can leave it at 6 months, but I like to put it at a year. So from 0 to a year. And the reason I like to do that is I want to get a full view of the year to look for the 52-week high and things like that. And the 52-week high is just the highest point that it has gone in the year. Because something like that, a stock that's up on earnings, about to break the 52-week high, that is called a pivotal point. So after you change it to predefined range, you want to change your size from 700 to 780. Now, after you do that, you want to go down and you want to click Pivot Points. We're day traders, so we're looking within the day to see if we can get a break over the highs. Sometimes 2 days, but never long term. If it's long term, that's something you add onto a watch list and you create an alert. Like I have stocks all over my brokerage with alerts at certain high points. But if it's not going to happen that day, I don't care. I'm a day trader. So now that we have that set up, predefined range, you could keep it at 6 months. I put it at a year, size 780, pivotal points. You could hit any one of the 3 update buttons. Now, you have something. You may have no idea what the hell it is. All these R1s, R2s, Ps, S1s, S2s. Says here in the top left, pivots, P-I-V-O-T-S, 266, it doesn't matter, right? All we know is that GLBS, right? GLBS, there's 2 things I'm taking from this chart. You have to remember that this morning, this candle was not here yet. This big hammer, it's called a hammer, by the way, this candle, but this was not here yet because that's today, and we're acting as if we were looking in the pre-market. So all you would have is this candle, right? And you would have a price, and that price would be, according to Thinkorswim, $8.54, correct? So you would come here, you would look, and you would say $8.54. The highest pivot point is at $3.96. This is what you classify as overextended. I wouldn't even take a second look at this point. Okay? Excuse me. I'm sorry. This morning, the price was not that high. Let me go back. Oh, yeah, it was. It was at 896. I was right. Never mind. So 896. It was actually higher. It was up here. It was 896. The highest pivot point, okay, is $4. This is overextended, way too high. But I will tell you one thing I do find interesting. Even though it's overextended too high, and I want you to keep that in mind, that in the morning I would totally dismiss this stock and totally ignore it. It is doing something interesting. Now, this candle here is called a hammer, okay? It's got a long body and then a red top, so it's a red hammer. You have a red hammer and you have a green hammer. A red hammer is less bullish than a green hammer, okay? So let me look up hammer. Give me a thing. Hold on. FinViz. I'll go with FinViz. Oh, FinViz. Okay, so you can see there's something called a red hammer and then there's a green hammer. And then they're both bullish, but this one is usually, the green one is usually very bullish, and this one is just, the red one is less bullish. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Now, we have today, so we have a red hammer. It's not a perfect one. You still have a little bit of a wick on top, but for the most part, it's a red hammer. And it's very close, I don't know if you noticed this, to this 1150 mark, especially in the pre-market, in the aftermarket today. So 1150 is the 52-week high. It hit almost 1050. It's about $1 away from the 52-week high. It's being manipulated. If this breaks the 52-week high, that's a breakout. Even though this is a highly manipulated stock, and I still wouldn't suggest trading it. I'm just instructing. So what I'll do here is right before 1150, I'll create an alert. What do you mean, Danny? What happened? It's in and out on the app. Turn the volume up. So what I'm going to do, let me turn the volume down a little bit. So just in case tomorrow this thing is going crazy, I just want to know that 1150 is the 52-week high. Probably still won't trade it because we already know it's BS and it's going to pump and dump. But if it looks really strong, I'm not going to not jump into it. It's all something we have to speculate. We already saw from the here, and then I'll lower the volume a little bit. Sometimes on the application, on the phone app, that happens. But okay, so here we go here. Yeah, 1150, 52-week high. I'm just going to add that. So I have that in. But overall, from looking at stock charts, I don't like this. It's way too overextended. So forget that one, right? Now, I want to look at something, the stocks that are more likely to be within pivotal range are usually on, let me show you. Let's look at the next one on the list here, right? After GLBS, we have AXGT. It's within price range, right? It's between 90 cents and $12. It's up 43%. Only thing I don't like is it has a very, very high float. Not really. It has a relatively high float, but not like Apple, not like 1.3 billion, 107 million, which is higher than what I like to trade. So it's a nix on that level. So far, everything checks out. Let's see if it has news. Now, another way you can find news other than it's right here. Another way you could find news is with this guy right here. This has been Benzinga Pro. And I also use this as a scanner every morning as well as a backup. So I always use 2 scanners just to confirm. Actually, I use like 3 scanners. But and then I find the best one out of all of them. And that's how my speculation is done. And I know. Sometimes I'll just know I got one. And then sometimes I don't. I'm like, I don't really know this morning. It's good speculative. I don't know. But that's for Benzinga Pro. And let me see. Let me show you how you can just like get the news really quick on Benzinga Pro. Benzinga Pro is great as well, by the way. They got the Squawk Box, but I could show you how to get the Squawk Box on. I'm going to show you a trick real quick on. There's something here called a Squawk Box that you can press play, and all day it'll give you news and loops and stocks that are taking off and option calls and option sweeps and everything you could think of. You just hit this button and the Benzinga Pro thing will go, but I'm not going to do it now. All right, so yeah, you can see there's another scanner here, but this is a way to find the news as well. They also got the calendars for earnings, all that stuff. So I sent a link for that as well. It's pretty good. They give you like 2 weeks free or something like that. I didn't know Naked Brands is a good stock to play. But anyway, let's look up news on, what was that one? On that gap scanner there, AXGT. Let's see if it's up on news or just BS. AXGT. All right. AXGC. Scientist shares are trading higher. Gene therapy shows no serious adverse effects of trace, blah, 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 blah. Baseline study. Okay. Positive interim results from first cohort of Sunrise PH Phase 2. Okay, so they had positive Phase 2 results on a drug. Phase 2 is good. Phase 3 is always better. Phase 3 stocks usually take off. That's stocks like Amarin, AMRM. Phase 3 is always the best. So, got our news here. Anything we need to know about it. Boom, beautiful. Right on Benzinga Pro. And we got a pre-market scanner here. Regular market scanner and after-hour market scanner. And you can adjust it how you like. You know, great program to have as well. All right, so we know it's up on news. It's got everything we want, except that float is just a little too high. Let's keep looking. Let's take a look at it on the pivot point level. So in the morning, I know we were watching it right here. In the morning, it was trading at about 208, 218, between that range, between 208 and 218. Let's check it out on, where's that chart? Oh. AXGT. AXGT. All right, so remember, this candle was not here yet, guys. This was not here because that's today. So we're looking in the pre-market. So we know in the pre-market it's at about 208 and 218. Interesting. It's at an interesting point because it's just above the pivot point, just above the first pivot point. Now let me point out to you real quick what these pivot points are. Okay, the P is the main pivot point. That's like base level flat, not bearish, not bullish. Just consider P flat. That's the flat point, you know. Then you have S1, stands for support 1. That means you're getting into bearish territory. Then you have S2. That's even more bearish. Okay, back to P. Got R1. We're looking bullish. R2, even better. And beyond is amazing. Okay? It's pretty much how they work, but they are actual supports and resistances. That's what's important to remember here. R2, which is right here at 165, is an actual support, okay? A resistance, rather. So what usually happens when stocks break resistance is they take off, and the resistance becomes the new support, right? We understand that concept? All right. So we know the price is about $2 on this one. The pivot point is at 165, the R2. This one broke out already. The only way I might consider buying it is if it dropped down to 165 and popped back up. That's it. Okay? If it dropped down to 165, popped back up, then I would consider buying it. So let's take a look this morning. And this morning, if you remember, this is one I was considering buying because it was making moves. It didn't make it down to 165. It made it to 192, shot up to 250 very quickly. You would have had to been very quick to catch this. But I still don't think I would have bought it. It just was not able to break 250. It really didn't do anything. But let me show you another one from this morning's watch list where the pivot points are more intact and something special about it. CIFS, right? CIFS, there's one thing I'm leaving out, which I'm leaving out on purpose because I'm going to bring it to you at the end. Now, let me bring it to you now. Let me bring it to you now. I know David is commonly, I don't know where David's been. I've been trying to get David. NASDAQ.com. Well, you can, Carlos, you can identify supports and resistances by analyzing the chart, like using technical analysis and analyzing the chart. And for example, this AGXT, again, you can see here, 248 this morning, it's not able to break 248, right? So you say, okay, that is a resistance. It's hitting resistance at 248. So that's why I didn't want to buy this one today unless it broke above the resistance, because usually when it breaks above the resistance, it breaks out and takes off. So that's an example of a resistance, and then it kind of shoots down, and I'll find you a better example of a support, but that's an example of a resistance. It can't seem to get past that. But when we talk in terms of pivot point resistances, they can sometimes be the same, and most of the time they are. I'm going to show you something right now. CIFS was that one we were looking at this morning, right? I was really looking to get into this one, but it just couldn't break 360. So what is 360, Carlos? Let's take a quick look. Let me back up for a second. You can see here, it can't seem to break, what's that number? 360. It can't seem to break 360. What the heck? It can't seem to, what does that mean? Again, it's trying to break, but it can't get to 360. 360 is the what, Carlos? You can answer. It's resistance. Now, it just so happens to be something else. It just so happens to be a pivot point, meaning if CIFS were to have broken this 360 resistance, let's check the chart. Let's check the chart real quick on pivot points, right? But it appears to me if this resistance would have been broken, the stock would have taken off. I mean, look at this stock's, history. It went all the way up to $6 only a few days ago. Now sitting at 360. So back to it. Can't seem to break 360. Let's look at the professional pivot point chart. Okay. Would you look at that? R1. R1 just happens to be 360. So that morning, when you were looking for stocks to trade and entry points, you just had a double confirmation. First of all, this happened in the middle of the day. So you wouldn't have known that 360 was going to be a resistance unless there was, matter of fact, there was, guys. Look, if you look right here in the pre-market, there was resistance at 360. Very interesting, right? So there was resistance at 360 in the pre-market, telling you, well, then maybe 360 is an important point. Let me check my charts. 360 is R1. Well, what happens after CIFS crosses R1? It goes to R2. What's R2? $4.96. It's a $1.40 gain. Now, nobody says the stock has to stop at R2. It could blow past R2 as well. But we don't know this. This is all speculation. How can we say? We're just looking. Is there something that can let us know that a stock is advanced, that it's advanced enough to make a move from 360 to 469.96? Yeah. We go on it almost every morning. NASDAQ.com, pre-market activity, most advanced. And today, it's not there. But most of the time, these stocks that are on here, like anytime you catch SIFs on here, I'll tell you from experience, and we can also look at the charts. Where is it? Anytime, if you guys remember a couple days back or last weekend, SIFs was on the most advanced list. And it did break R60. And it did break 496. And it did, but it wasn't on the most advanced list today, so it really didn't have much of a shot of breaking it. It also, if you look at the trade ideas gapper in the pre-market, it was on here, but it was like very low towards the bottom. It wasn't high up here. I think it was up, I forget, like 8%. So why is the most advanced list so important? It's because of this is what NASDAQ is telling you is the most advanced. It's got the most buyers coming in from the most different places. It's shooting up. Something's going on. It's advanced. So let's take a quick look at that advanced list again, one more time. A few more times, but one more time for sure. Actually, it's going to take a few times to get this. Okay, so the top one on the most advanced list is this AXGT. We already looked at AXGT. So do you guys understand how on SIFs that if SIFs had broken 360, it would have took off possibly to 467? And it still is a possibility tomorrow. It closed at 328. Don't forget about this one. I'm telling you, keep this one on the watch and buy it if it hits 360 because it's going to break. That is a pivot point. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do that. Tomorrow, if this thing breaks 360, I'm all over it. Oh, that's too high. I want to make sure I catch it. Because we know this could go to 498 and beyond. 360 R1. All right, so 360 R1. I don't understand why she's not in group. I appreciate you asking me how I'm feeling, but I'd rather you be in group. Forget it. Alrighty. Forgot where I was. All right. Let me, I totally got lost for a second. Oh, I know why it didn't come up, because I'm on the wrong thing. Interesting. All right, so pre-market, most advanced. I don't remember USAT being here this morning. JMU is here, but you also, again, guys, you want to keep in mind, what are we looking for? We're looking for stocks that are 15% or above. Now, 10% is okay. TONXP. Let's take a look at TONXP. AGXT we already looked at, right? It was too elevated, and what did it do during the day? It did nothing, right? Or where is it? Right here. It did a little something, but it was not able to break over the highs because it was already too extended. Its last pivot point was at 160, so it was too extended. That's why it didn't do anything. It came back down to its pivot point. It's always going to return home. Remember that. So if it's always going to return home, you know, sometimes you can catch it on a break or something, but it's always going to return home. Next, I want to... TNXP was the next one, right? So TNXP, it says it was up 40%, $3.93 in the pre-market. Let's go check out TNXP on the chart here. TNXP. Okay. Its last pivot point, R2, is at $2.25. You can go right to the top left if you can't see it. It's always right here. And so again, we can see that this is a stock that is overextended, and you know, just not something really worth playing with. Now, seems like everything has been like that so far, but look at what happened throughout the day. What happened with TNXP throughout the day. Okay. It had a pop in the pre-market, which I don't care. I don't really buy in the pre-market. And then it dumped. As we said, this one is too overextended over its home. Its home is the top ceiling of that floor, R2. Sometimes it can go elevated, but it doesn't stay there forever. Now let's find one that fits, okay? And let's see. There's always one that fits. Let's go to the most advanced. I don't remember USAT going on here, but just for just to see, I just want to see USAT. You should. Oh, and by the way, on the most advanced list, guys, the top ones are the best ones. Once you start getting down to 5, 6, it gets iffy. The best ones are like the top 3, 4, maybe 5, but really the top 3, 4. So I don't remember USAT this morning. Otherwise, it would have been on the watch list. So it must have been a late pop. Let's check it out. Okay. So without even knowing what this stock did, it says it was at 377 in the pre-market. It's below the P. I don't have any interest in this unless maybe it goes above the P. Otherwise, it's garbage. It's below the P. That means it's bearish. Oh, it said it was for what? 377. So it's 377. It's below the P, 458. I have absolutely no interest in this. That's it. It's that simple. If you ever find a stock and you're curious and it's below the P, forget it. It's a dub. Now if it crosses the P, that's a different story, but it's below the P. I don't want nothing to do with it. I got to move on. I got to find a stock that I like. So I'm not going to waste my time and watch to see if this USAT, which by the way is not even in our range, it was only up 10%. We need 15% or better. All right, so now let's move here. I want you to see one thing. There was something I had like set to show you, and then I don't know what I did with it, but you guys saw CFT. Now, this one here, this MCRB, I'm curious about this MCRB. Now, this MCRB popped up not on the pre-market scanner. As you could see, in the pre-market, it didn't do anything. It just popped up in the middle of the day. And I happened to catch it because I have the Trade Ideas gap scanner. And, I mean, I don't know what people would use without the gap scanner. They would just keep clicking scan on Trade ID on Thinkorswim, or I guess Benzinga, but Benzinga is a 1 minute delay. This doesn't have a 1 minute delay. So I would go over to surf the gap and then, click the wrong one. Surf the gap. And another good one is Alpha Predator. It's very similar to the gap scanner on here. Alpha Predator. It just shows stocks that are starting to be really bullish. So we were watching the gap scanner, and then all of a sudden, this one pops up, right? I don't remember where. It's not going to be here anymore because this thing changes a lot. Oh, or is it? Oh, here it is, MCRB. All of a sudden, this one pops up. I said, okay, oh, that's not it. I said, okay, oh yeah, that is it. I said, okay, this one popped up on the gap scanner. Let's check it out real quick, okay? Right now, at this point, it popped up. It's whatever, $6, let's say, or it's $5.99. So I can go ahead and I can go over to that chart and put in MCRB. Let's see what happens. Interesting. Very interesting. Now this is beautiful. I don't know if you guys see this. Okay, so we said it was at about $6, right? It's getting ready to break the P. Now, remember I said if it's below the P, yeah, but if it breaks the P, where's it going to go? R1. And then if it breaks R1, where's it going to go? R2. And then if it breaks R2, usually pops up. It can pop up a lot. I've seen pop-ups off the R2 go into the stratosphere, but they always come back home. They will always come back home into those resistance and support levels. So, okay, I see, okay, all right, I see the stock is at $6. I could put a buy in at 6, but I know that there's a resistance, a pivot point at 626. So I'm not going to buy this thing until it crosses 626. Now, where's 626? Right here. So this is where my order is. And by the way, when I say, guys, buy an order, if you ever see this, okay, buy over 626, 20 cents. Well, in this case, what would it be? It would say, okay, not 20 cents, right? Because where's R1? R1 is at 77. So if we're buying at 26, I would say, all right, 50 cents, guys. So buy over, why does it look so sloppy? Buy over, oh yeah, MCRB over, buy over 626. And guys, keep in mind where the closing price is. It's still sitting on that P. So it's either going to break that P and go down, or it's going to shoot back up to R1 tomorrow. This is one to watch. 626, definitely one to watch. And then I'll put 50 cent like that. I won't even write target. You're supposed to just know that 50 cents is the target. Well, otherwise, so you would say, all right, so he's saying buy it over 626. So I'm going to go put a stop order, not a limit order, a stop order. We are breakout traders. We use stop orders. Okay, we only use limit orders to sell. So I'll say, all right, if this thing breaks 626, if it breaks 626, I put my stop order at 627. Now, I know that's confusing, but that's how it is. Because sometimes it's not a weird number like this. Sometimes it's like buy over $5. So sometimes a stock can touch $5, tap it, and go back down. And now you're stuck in. So anytime I say over, it's always a cent to 5 cents over. But with a smaller stock, it's a cent. So I would go buy, order, stop, however many shares I want, and at 626. At 627, 1 cent over, right? I'd put that order in, and that's that. So stock will then move up. It'll fill. Once it crosses 626, my 627 order will fill, and it will shoot up. Now, wait, your order filled, so what's your target? Now, your target is never supposed to be all your shares. Your target is 3/4 of your shares. Usually, I'll put take partials. But I can't always do that. You're supposed to just know to take a partial. So if I bought 75 shares, 100 shares, and I'm selling 3/4, and I'm selling it at 50 cents above 27, I'm selling it at 777, 3/4 of my shares. And that's a guaranteed, so that's where my limit order for 75 shares would be. Since I have an order, since I currently own 100 shares, I'm selling 75 at 777. So, right? Obviously, it's not going to work because the market's not open. And now you still have 1/4 of your shares left. Now, what do you do with that? Well, let's see. You have two options here. Once it breaks R2, you really don't know where it's going to go. You really don't. So once it goes to 677, past 670, up to 677, I'm sorry, we didn't even cross R2 yet. We know R2 is at 741. So you have a decision to make. Once you're at 677, you can sell the remainder of your shares really whenever you want. It's up to you at that point. Just know that there's a pivot. There's another pivot at 741. So you could even add shares. This is what I mean. So we know that there's another pivot here at 741, right? So if 741, you're going to watch. You're going to say, okay, we're hitting 741. I know that there's another pivot point here. And you could even see it's hitting resistance at this level. Oh, you can't see. Damn it. I'm so sorry. So you could see at 741. Let me go back. Sorry. So you could see we bought in at the P. We took our partial at R1. Now it shoots past R1, and we know 741 is the second resistance. So you have two options there. You can either say, well, you could see, look, can you guys see? At 7, wait, no. Where is it? 741. 741 is right here. So 741 is right here. Now, as you can see, right below 741, it's having trouble breaking. So at that point, you can make a decision. You could say, you know what, I'm going to sell the last 3/4 of my shares. Or, you know what, I've already made a decent amount of money. Let me hold it and see if it breaks R2. And if it does break R2, I'll add. So that's, there's so many options that you can do once you understand how these R1s and R2s, and you're not going to learn them in this lesson. You think you're going to figure it out in one lesson and get it down. I just want you to start looking at them and watching them and observing them and understanding that they're entries and listening to me, because now you know what I'm looking at. So when I say, guys, I like it at 854, be like, why the hell does he like it at 854? You guys know. I already taught you the formula. I taught you where to look. Now, again, this is not for everybody. This is not everybody's business. This is within the group. The person that told me this and taught me all about R1s and R2s and how hedge funds use them. And listen, we're not going to share that on Facebook just for any other person to. That's for you guys. That's specifically for you. And once you learn how to use it, now you can use it at night too. Let's say it's the end of the night, guys, right? Which it is. And you want to look at the aftermarket. You go to the pre-market. You go to after hours activity. And this will help us for tomorrow. This will tell us what to buy tomorrow. Pre-market activity. Okay, you got SFIX here, right? First one. Oh, you gotta always make sure you click most advanced, because you'll end up screwing yourself if you do most active. Most advanced, most advanced, most advanced, most advanced. Make sure, because I did it once. I thought I was in the most advanced. Whatever. Anyway, so okay, we got Stitch Fix. It's a little out of our price range. Out of our price range. Out of our price range. Boom, SPPI. This is for tomorrow. This is most advanced for tomorrow. So this is something we could play tomorrow. Spectrum. Weren't we looking at Spectrum today? I swear we were looking at Spectrum today. We were looking at Spectrum for some reason. I think it popped up on the gap scanner. Okay, it's not really up 15%, but it's halfway there. It's within the top 5 on the most advanced list of the after hours. It's within price range. What's its float? I want to know its float. SPPI float. Check its float real quick. Just under 100 million, so it's not a billion. It's low-ish. Let's check it out on a chart real quick. Where's the chart? SPPI. Now this is for tomorrow, so I love it. So now that candle is not going to be there. You have to speculate on your own. Okay, a bunch of stuff here. I don't know what's going on. What's the price? So you got to go back and you got to say, okay, the price is, tells you, 11.16. Boom, beautiful. Falls within our strategy. 11.16. SPPI. Do you guys see that? It's 1 cent above the P. Its next level is 11.81. And the level after that is 12.80. This thing tomorrow is going to take off like you have no idea. Now, we need some kickers. We need some kickers. Because there's 2 things that I don't agree with already. Okay, I don't like. You know, price is good. Volume's okay. Float's a little high, but it's still under 100 million, which means it's not ridiculous. If there is one thing good enough, it's not going to break the 52-week high. We can see that. But it is right at the P. It's above the P, as a matter of fact. It's at 11.16. So this is one to watch tomorrow. You know it can go to 11.81 or 12.80. That's it. It's very simple. Now, let's say tomorrow in the pre-market, it starts moving up and it's like at 11.60. Well, then what's your entry point? At the breakout, 11.81. And you hold it until it hits 12.80, 3/4. You hold 3/4. And then if at 12.80, or you could hold it all. It's all speculative. When you get to 12.80, and, you know, I say to sell because usually when it hits the resistance, unless it's strong enough, it usually will bounce back down. But once you like get a little more experience and you could say, no, this thing is blasting, the volume's good, the level 2s are fantastic. By the way, guys, all this, that's one of the major things I left out. You have to be watching the level 2s with this type of trading like it's your job. Like you have to be glued to the level 2s because that's going to tell you everything. So, you know, if you're watching this stock and everything looks good, and then you could get ready to sell 3/4 of your shares at 12.80, or you could be looking at the level 2s and you could say, nah, there's a big buy order at 13. This is going to go to 13. I'm not selling. So you can, everything is there for you. All the information is there for you. When Trade Ideas, when Holly, when they do all their trading and it's all automated and they win 13 out of 13 times, it's because they're using the formulas that I'm just basically teaching you. All right. No, if you sell twice, if you are in a margin, which you, by the way, set it up how I have it. I have a cash account and a margin account, and I flip-flop my cash back and forth, but sometimes I keep a little in both. But a margin account, no. You could buy 100 shares of a stock and sell it off 1 share at a time, and it's 1 trade. But if you buy it twice and you sold it 100 times, then you're screwed. That's 2 trades. But no, that's 1 trade. You could buy and sell it as many times. You could sell it off as much as you please. It's 1 round trip. Trust me, I called because I wanted to make sure, and I'm positive. Yeah, Steve, what's up with this news? Um, oh, well, let's use good old trusty, what do you call it? God dang it. Good old trusty, Nzinga Pro. Um, hmm. Okay, it looks like they came out. Okay, so they're up on earnings, I think. No. Oh, that's February 28th. Sorry. It doesn't appear that they have any news. Hmm. This might be nothing. I don't know. Why would it be popping on no news? Maybe the news is just not here. Let me see something. I want to see okay. I want to see if something matches up. This is how you do it, guys. This is how you take everything in a line and you match it up. So there's a few things in SPPI that are making me a little skeptic. So again, I'm not seeing news. Let's take a look at the chart. Oh no. Okay. I don't know. It's on the most advanced list, though. It's worth watching at least in the morning. But again, that's like a secondary to me. I liked it until Steve reminded me to look at the news, and then I saw the chart, and it did not impress me. So here's another thing you can do. Let's go to trade ideas, after hours. Let's see. Stitch Fix I love trading Stitch Fix. Oh, what's this one here? Yeah, but it's not gapping. All right, so let's take a look at Stitch Fix. I know it's out of our range. Oh my God, this is going to dump tomorrow. I have a feeling this is way too high above the R2s. Let's check it out. It's also the number one on the most advanced. Just happens to be on the. So guys, put these things in line. Now this is only the after hours. So forget that. The after hours I don't care too much about. It's the pre-market. But let's pretend that this was within our price range, right? Within our float, within all that. Forget that. It's not. It's where's the float? 36 million float. Actually within our float. And it has tremendous volume. Its price is just up there. It's more of an options play or a margin play, which tomorrow we can actually do because I don't think I have a choice other than to do margin tomorrow because of all the funds I spent today. All right, so let's look up SFix on that graph there. Now, did you guys figure out how to set up this graph? Do you guys remember? Because if it doesn't automatically come like this, you have to set it up. Okay. All right, so Stitch Fix. Remember, that candle is not going to be here, so we got to look at the price. And so annoying, this thing. 33.48. Okay, so 33.48 is the price. 33.66 is the price. 33.48, whatever. 33.48. All right, so it's above R2. So what you would do with this one is called a pivot play, or you buy on the bid, it's called. You wouldn't want to buy this one unless it pulls back to the R2. And depending on how much more it hikes up tomorrow. But, I mean, Stitch Fix can make moves. I do know that. But it's just $1 overextended. Not really, a few cents. So what you do on one like this is, you know, these are not my favorite kind of ones to play. These are pullback plays. These are all speculative, all guessing, really, because a lot of level 2 reading. Because if you want to, buy in a pullback, you want to see how much buying there is at R2 at 32.50. There might not be any. At that case, then you wait for the buyback at 30.18. But I don't see this going to 30.18. I would think that your buyback would be like 32 or 33. But it's already very extended. But had you had caught this, had you had caught this here and looked at, had you had caught this here at $30, right? You say, oh, it came out with great earnings. This is up on earnings, I'm assuming. Oh, it came out with great earnings. You would know, well, it hit 30. Is that too high? You can go right here. You could say, heck no, 30 is not too high. That's the first pivot. And it's up on earnings. Heck yeah. This is going to be a great play tomorrow. Great, 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 great play. You got to just buy it on the bid. That's the thing. So you want to wait for the pullback, the takeoff, and then you get out. But again, this is out of our price range. I'm just showing for demonstration purposes. Once you get to the point where you're chasing points, it's really not too far out of our price range. We could trade this one tomorrow. For our account size, we could get 100 shares. If we make 2 points, we make $200. I mean, or maybe it moves 5 points. Who knows? But we have to speculate the pivots. And I want to add those pivots onto Stitch Fix. Just so I know. But the most important thing that you're doing, oh, look how high this thing went, when you're trading these is watching your level 2s. There's nothing more important than your level 2s when you're doing this. Because that tells you everything. Tells you everything. Tells you what people are buying at. And the best one to watch is the ARCA. You always want to watch the ARCA. Forget the all the other crap ones on there. The best one you want to watch is the ARCA. Guys, any questions at all? I've been going on for a while, uninterrupted. What is a stop order? A stop order is when let's say I buy in tomorrow at Stitch Fix at it's a good time to answer that question too, Carlos. Let's say I buy in tomorrow. This pulls down to, we know that 32.50 is R1, right? We know 32.50 is R1. So let's say I buy it at 32.50. Create alert. R1. This is going to be a great one tomorrow. We'll see. There could be better ones. So let's say I buy at 32.50 and I play breakouts. So I'm not willing to lose a dime on this Stitch Fix. They ain't taking anything from me unless I go on their website and get a suit tailored or something, right? They're not taking my money. So a stop loss, you can say I'm a little unorthodox, but I play breakouts, okay? So if it goes below my entry point more than a few cents, sometimes it'll go below just a little bit to retest and then go back up. That's different than, that's why we're not doing any more overnight trading, none of that. And because it's complete risk. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. We are gonna do more overnight trade, but you know, we took a hit today. But look how much we've made in the past from overnight trading. Roku, we made $500. Made UVXY, we made like 600 2 days ago. So it's the price you pay, but it's not smart. It's gambling, and I don't like it. I like to win, and that's it. All right, now back to stop loss. So a stop loss is, remember how I had this, oh, did you ask me stop order or stop? Are you asking what a stop buy is or a stop loss? I'll show you what both are. A stop loss is, let's say I buy a 32.50 and I'm not willing to risk more than 11 cents. What I do is I put a stop order on, and then I put a sell order 10 cents below my entry price. And make sure that doesn't fill. And that's it. And there'll be an order sitting there. And if it drops 10 cents, I'm out. I don't lose no money. Or I lose 10 cents in that case. And then a stop buy is just the opposite. Let's say I don't want to buy this unless it breaks over the highs of 34.20. I could take an order and go to 34.21. That's what that means when you get those texts to buy over 34.21, because 34.20 is obviously a resistance, and I don't want it to tap that and then go stuck in it. So I'll go to 34. If I could just catch it. Let's pretend I caught it, 34.21, and I put in a buy order, and that order won't buy until it touches that level. Any other questions, guys? Oh. I missed all that. Are you writing something I can't see? No, I wasn't writing anything. If you sell twice, does it count as 2-day trade? Oh, I read this. News, Steve S. Per stock. What do you mean per stock? Now, I was going to do bookkeeping because I know it's very important, but we dragged this on an hour and a half, I think, right? Oh, yeah, per stock. Yes. What is the P? The P is just point, pivot. It's just, it's nothing. But the R's are resistances and the S's are supports. Be honest with you, I always thought the P meant pivot, but yeah, because that technically is the main pivot. Once it crosses, like let's take a look at the stock market, for example. Once it crosses that main P, that's the pivot. It pivots to the downside. It pivots to the upside. And that's your first support. And that's your second support. That's your first resistance. That's your second resistance. But let's take a look at the SBY. See, I should never have taken that order on the only 60. Holly only said 65%. But you can see the stock market dropped below the pivot. So today it shot back up above the pivot, but it already has tremendous resistance here. I would be shocked to see, well, you can basically see that if it shoots above R1, it's likely going to go to R2, which would be pretty much the 52-week high. But it looked like it broke the pivot, and we're sure hoping for that 270 level, but broke back above the pivot. So as of now, it's a bullish formation, but so we will not be doing any more UVXY calls, that's for sure. Not until we see the break back below the pivot. But moves like these guys, the money to be made is ridiculous. That's why I didn't have the problem taking the risk today. I know we took a bit of a loss, but I'll make that back. I'm not worried about that. I know the way I trade, and I know. Let's see. What was the second one on the after hours? CBay. CBay is one that always pops up there, guys. You got to look. There's ones that always pop up there for some reason. Not sure why that is. CBay is one of them. Let's see. Any other questions? Is that it, guys? We done? Is everybody satisfied? Everybody gets that? R1s, R2s, do you know? Got it. Great. Now, I got a question here. It's okay. All right, so I just want to do a quick poll, and that's it. For this, I use for the PDT prison breakout thing that we're doing, challenge rather, Thinkorswim. But I've always used Thinkorswim, but in the interim, while I'm doing this, I use Interactive Brokers because, as you know, it works with trade ideas. And I don't trade on Fidelity. I have an active managed account on Fidelity, which I know you don't have to tell me. A trader with an active managed account. Yeah, I know. But I don't care because there's not really even a lot of money in that account. It's just better than it's sitting in a savings making no money. No, Gus, I don't get any of my data from Thinkorswim. True, Steve. But Interactive Brokers, guys, is actually pretty cool. Yeah. If you if you sign up for them, basically, if you wanted to, I guess I could show that. You can link up Holly to your thing. Like, you don't have to do it all the time and just say, because we're traders, we love to trade. And we always think we're smarter than the machine, but let me tell you, we're not. Not even Warren Buffett's smarter than these machines they're coming out with. And Warren Buffett's a fundamental long-term trader, totally different type of trader. But Interactive Brokers syncs with Holly, and Holly will trade if you choose, and you could turn it on and off, and what type of trading and what risk. It's pretty cool. And so that's the main reason I got it, was just to see how that was. Because there's another artificial intelligence program, and I think I told you guys this. Benjamin is the name, not Holly, Benjamin. Total BS. They contacted me. They said, listen, they said, sell this to your group members, blah, 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 blah. And at first they were trying to sell it to me, and I was like, dude, I don't need that. I run a group. He's like, oh, you have a group? How many people in your group? I was like, sell it to your group members. Look at this. He showed me this commission sheet. I wish I still had it. I probably do. I probably have it in the message he sent me because they don't delete those. If I sell you an account for $300, I make a $3,000 commission plus residuals. I said, how the hell is that? They pay $300 for an account. I make a $3,000 upfront commission plus residuals every month. He's like, yeah. He's like, we, let's just say, Benjamin is on our team or whatever the hell he said. He said some grimy stuff like that. That basically you put your money in the brokerage and it's Benjamin's job to take the money from you. But that was like Forex or something. I don't know. Well, I don't think it was stocks. But watch out for those guys. Watch out for all those scam artists. I'm working with the couple this morning that I was getting irritated with in Australia. I didn't, I have a heart. I'm a Christian, so I felt bad. They were talking to me. They reached out to me. They got beat. Somebody got them for $3,000. It's so easy to like just burn people. Somebody got them for $3,000, and I said, "Did you wire transfer them the money?" And they're like, "Yeah." Like, well, why would you do that? You got to use safe services. You got to use your card. Anything that you can dispute. Wire transfer, Western Union. Goodbye. You're never getting that money back. Why would you ever do that? But anyway, not once, not twice, but like 3 times these people got burned. So this morning they were giving me like, so they were trying to sign up for like a 1-year program, and they were giving me such a hard time. And they were like, "Oh, we have Australian money," and I was like getting a little flushed. I was like, "Listen, I'm in the middle of running a group. Do you mind?" But then at the same time, it's Australia, so it was like 2 in the morning over there. I don't know. Yeah, I have an account. I have an individual with them. I have an individual with Robinhood and U Stock Trade as well. But U Stock Trade, I can't get them to my account to work. And Robinhood, I actually they I don't know. I don't like Robinhood. I hate Robinhood. I don't have no use for it. Yeah, of course. To get the level 2. Do you guys want me to do a quick level 2 thing? It's not that hard to understand. I mean, I don't want to minimize it, make you think it's just like there is some to it. You said you don't get your information about stocks from Thinkorswim. Where do you do your primary research on stocks? Well, here's the thing, guys. T-bag, there's 2 types of trading. There's fundamental and there's analytical. And, there's an old saying, the two don't mix. But I'm what you call 90% technical. I mostly look at charts and graphs and formations and that and this and R1s and R2s. And then I got that one little thing, that one little digit. I keep that 5th finger for news. And I do. I look at my news mostly. Um, if I'm being dead honest, I look at my news mostly right here on the little, you can see, you can't see. There you go. The little news tab. Stitch Fix. Shares higher 25% in money after market hours. Good guidance, good profits. So that's where I get my news. That's it. I just want to know why the stock is going up. I don't go crazy into, is this company like creating a time machine and they're 4 cents now, they'll be $1 billion. I don't care. I keep it very simple, guys, and I'm being like dead honest with you. It works. Like, this strategy works. You just play the breakouts. People, I hate to say that guy is right, but that guy that on YouTube who's always like, don't overcomplicate your trading. He's like dead right. It's not complicated. We complicate it in the beginning because we think we have to beat it, but it's kind of just like lay back and let the waves take you sort of thing. Not so much that easy, but there is stress involved, and it's just all a game of numbers. You just want to make more numbers than you did anyway. But you got to remember, it's not to be taken lightly either. You're dealing with your money. Like I've said before, I used to keep $100 bill at my desk, because sometimes when you watch on the screen, oh, I'm down 100, I'm down 200, it'll bounce back. I'm down 300, it'll bounce back. I'm down 400, it'll bounce back. I'm down 1,000. Take that $100 bill and go rip it up into 1,000,000 pieces or light it on fire. You just, when you have the money in your hand, you don't want to do it. So you just got to remember, it's simple. It's very simple. And if you guys follow along with me, and I get a lot of texts, what do you think of this and what do you think of that? And it's very simple. We wake up in the morning, we pop on, we look at the scanner, and we follow the flow. We know, you guys know about the R1s and the R2s, so you never have to worry. If you're curious if a stock is junk or not, or if it's overextended, just look at it on the R2. It's $10 past the R2. Forget it. It's overextended. Next. Keep it on a secondary. That's why I have two, I also recommend every trader have two monitors. Invest in a monitor if you only have one monitor. Invest in a second monitor. It is worth it. 100% worth it. And I'm not just saying this, guys, to make a commission, but I have the thing down here for trade ideas. I don't think, honestly, if you were with me in the beginning, I was chasing after this company. Like, they didn't want to take me because I didn't have 250 members, and like it was a whole thing, and we were like going to make fake memberships but this, I'm telling you, if you don't like it, and I'll work with you because you're already a member. So whatever membership you have, like if you have 3 months, I'll make you affiliated as long as you're a member of Trade Ideas. So what does that mean? So why would you not want to have this, guys? This is amazing. Swing ideas. The best ones, honestly, are pre-market, aftermarket, options, surf the gap, and or what is it? Jump the gap, and trade the gap. This is the best. This morning we didn't have nothing going on, if you remember, nothing except one thing. There's one thing that's interesting about this morning. I happened to see this little piggy right here, SKYS, and remembered it from 2 weeks ago. See? And I brought it up to the group. I'm like, guys, remember this from 2 weeks ago? I said it's on the scanners this morning. And what did it do? It went from 84 cents to $1.25. And you could have made a nice profit off of that. And you know what? Just out of curiosity, I want to pop this in the thing here. I want to see the R1s, the R2s, and all that. See if it's overextended, if it's got any more room to grow. I think it's overextended probably. But let's find out. But yeah, this morning we didn't have nothing going on, so I clicked that that gap scanner. Okay, this has got some room, guys. This has got some room to jump. I like this for tomorrow, big time. It's got the only thing I don't like is it's got a little bit of a shooting star formation, which is a bearish candle, but it's only a bearish candle if it's, oh no, that's an upward candle. I'm sorry. It popped up a little bit at the end of the day. So it went down, I guess, and then popped up just a little bit. But we're going to keep an eye on this tomorrow because this apparently can go to $2. No problem. See? So now you know what's junk and what's not. All right, let me see. Where do you do your primary? Oh, either here, I hit the news tab. I do a few other things as well. I do trade ideas, obviously. I mean, I mostly do my stuff on trade ideas. I'm a technical trader. You got to remember there's technical and there's fundamentals. Two different worlds, guys. And now that that's set. Oh yeah, and again, trade ideas, amazing thing. That's how I found this stock that we traded in the middle of the day. which was the only one I found. What was it? UVXY. I always fall back on my baby somehow. And everybody get a baby stock. It's a stock between $20 and $50. I recommend something like Roku. Stitch Fix looks pretty good. Huya, JD. I don't care what it is. Don't do ADRs. Don't do Asian stocks. But just find a stock between $20 and $50 and make it your baby stock. Just observe it and watch it all year. Trade it here and there, but don't go crazy with it because we're supposed to stay in that low range. But this MCRB popped up literally out of nowhere. And remember, I didn't have a lot of money to trade this morning because all my money was tied up, but I probably had like my full funds, I probably would have, made a nice 150 off of this, which still sounds like a joke, but it's in these little accounts, 150, that'll build the account quickly, That's $600, $750 a week. That'll get you to the 25,000. That's the whole point. Is to get the 90% of the group is stuck in PDT status. Got to get you out. So that actually popped up on here on the gap scanner. And I remember I was like, ooh, I like this. And speaking of ooh, I like this. Look at this one. On the gap scanner, but in the after hours, LPTX. Sounds familiar. Low float. I like it. I like it. It's about to break $2. We might be catching something here. Market's about to close. LPTX. Roku. Unbelievable. I don't know. We'll put it on the secondaries. By the way, another good stock to watch is this 10X. It has random pops throughout the day. But the LPT. But forget all that. Forget what's good. Forget what's not. Stick to the strategy. We know what we have to do in the morning. We're going to scan. We're going to check. Now, we're going to do all that off screen, guys. I want you to keep that in mind. And the 15 or so of you that attended or came and went, we're going to do most of this, the L1s, the L2, the R1s, the R2s, all that stuff is going to be done off screen. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Let's see. Real quick. I'm going to do this real quick just to help you guys out. Forgive my spelling. It's not that I'm retarded. I'm just like I don't care. Of course, that's in no way supposed to be like disrespectful towards you.